days you wake up and you're just like, oh, Dalai Lama's trying to assault a child in public. Oh, okay. Alright, I'll let everybody else swing that one. You guys can comment on that, and you know, whatever speaks for itself, I don't even say anything. And then you see another news clip or another article shoved in your face about the quote-unquote trans. Yeah, there you go. And then you get to, oh, another leak, the Pentagon scrambling to save face, and the news people are all on high alert. Oh, don't get your information from anywhere else. You should come here and listen to us, because we are the people that know enough to analyze it and tell you the truth of what it means. Now, I'll just go download it myself, get the hell out of my face. And then some of the other articles around it is things that you already know. So if you know anything about history, you're thinking, okay, so reading some of the leaked stuff, and I haven't read a lot, but reading some of it, it goes on about different nations helping to arm Ukraine, blah, blah, blah. And again, if you know anything, you know that was happening. You know that was happening behind closed doors. You know that was happening in front of your face. They're wiring billions and billions of dollars to this idiot Zelensky every single freaking day. So you know what's happening. And you know, around the world, troops from the USA and everywhere, there's so much stuff going on that you go down the shop, you know, you get your petrol, you get your bottle of milk and your bread, and you're not thinking about it. Everything is happening. There is always a conflict somewhere. There's always something that you'll never even know about, that you'll never even think about or dream is happening. It's happening. So when these leaks all come out, a lot of people are just like, okay, really? And then the normies are like, oh, I don't really care about that. Let me just post my selfie with my butt hanging out for TikTok. And then it's the middle ground people, the half-wits, the ones that think they know something but not enough, that will get into this. And then it's the people that actually break these stories. So a lot of the times you see people roll their eyes and people try and deem things like 4chan as racist and things like that. But often 4chan and all these sort of underground boards and threads are where stories break, and then they finally come to the forefront of the news cycle, say, you know, a few days later, and then people debate whether or not it's legit and whether or not there's an agenda behind it. You know, these people, usually, these people on 4chan and Discord, this article's actually saying, what is Discord? You don't know what Discord, okay. You don't know what Discord is? Cool. You know, normies and people out of touch trying to explain what Discord is and just how many people use it, and they're still getting it wrong. But a lot of the times these stories break because they're people that don't have a horse in the race, that just kind of call things out as they see it being fair or unfair and just bring attention to. And so a lot of the times you say, oh, this broke on 4chan, or this broke, you know, on a server somewhere, on Telegram or everything, and it's not taken seriously because that's what they want. Because a lot of the times they are, if not it being the whole truth, they are onto something all the time. And the dinosaur news media are shitting themselves because no longer are they the people that break things. You hear rumblings, you hear rumors and things through the internet, through your message services, through your friends, through social media, through alt platforms. You hear it all first, and then these guys are standing in front of a teleprompter and they're repeating the same lines as the other news studio down the road. And so people like me, I haven't watched TV voluntarily. I'm not talking about Doctor's Office, you know, when they've got all episodes of Becca and shit on. I have not watched an episode of anything on the television. I own a television. It comes on if, say, my mum visits me and I'm in the other room doing something and she's bored. It never goes on because that box is full of, and it's so funny that when you can see the propaganda, it goes between being hilarious and being so aggravating that I just can't stand it, especially morning TV. No doubt over the next 24 to 48 hours we will hear exactly what to think and how to think from trustworthy news sources that don't have an agenda and don't get paid by the same people at all. Apparently it's at least 100 documents that were leaked. The files are photos of briefing documents and slides, mostly from around the March and February period this year, and based on what the letter agencies say, so CIA, NSA, intelligence agencies, DEA, National Reconnaissance Office, which is the place that manages US spy satellites, that's coming from them. Interesting stuff. Serbia, it came out in there that Serbia is the only country that was against sanctions against Russia during this whole conflict. And apparently they also were said to have provided and committed lethal aid and have the quote-unquote military ability and the political will, end quote, to provide arms in the future. So that was kind of interesting. In a poll apparently conducted last year, 66% of Serbian people said they believe Russia to be their country's greatest friend. There was a Pentagon document about European contributions marked as secret, which means it's not to be shown to any foreign nationals, including allies. It shows that only 2 countries, Austria and Malta, have refused to provide lethal aid or military training in the past or future, but both have said they will remain neutral and provide humanitarian aid. Hungary, the most pro-Russian EU member state, has apparently provided training to the Ukrainian army and medics. So besides that, apparently there is a page that came through Telegram memes that is forged and is fake according to the letter agencies, dealing with how many casualties have actually taken place on either side and who exactly is winning, and also the USA's sentiment or disposition that Ukraine won't be able to regain the ground that Russia has invaded. So that's all I've garnered based on what I've read. I haven't had a chance to get a drip on the documents or anything like that, so I've read it secondhand from all these different articles, and the links will be in the description as usual. Moving on. I don't usually care about overweight Asian guys wearing blankets and dresses, but this Dalai Lama thing, what the hell? I saw it come down my newsfeed and I was like, okay, obviously it's lost in translation, or he misspoke and said something silly, and maybe he just, you know, was all flustered in front of people. No. Like, he actually said it. Like, he thought about it while he was saying it. There was a little kid that was coming up to him, wanted a hug. And this is in front of who knows how many people in a room. And he kissed the kid and he's hugging him or whatever. And he tells him to suck his tongue. When I heard through the grapevine that that was kind of what he said, I thought, okay, well, maybe he's just being silly, how kids always dare each other to do stuff. Maybe he was playing with him and mucking around. Even so, I mean, it's kind of very inappropriate, obviously. But I thought maybe it's a misunderstanding. But watching it, ugh. You need to calm down, sir. I don't care what kind of deity or what reincarnated or whatever you were meant to be. No, in this time and place and plane and this section of history, no, that's inappropriate and really gross. And the last thing I want to really make comment on is everybody's favorite girl, Dylan Mulvaney, who was recently the spokesperson for Bud Light and who caused the uproar and people boycotting it and burning it and shooting cans on TikTok and all the rest of it, was recently speaking to Rosie O'Donnell about how they were a soft target, an easy target, and people are being mean to them. And I do agree to some extent, because look, you can't tell me that if some big company that's been sort of orbiting around your life for your whole life came up to you and said, here's 200 grand, can we chuck your face on a can, that you wouldn't do it. So it's just one of those things. I think the majority of people actually have another problem besides that. So I think there are some people that genuinely dislike this person and all that they stand for and don't like that kind of lifestyle, and they're trying to make a statement about that. But the majority it comes across is that you're pissed off at the company. They had the audacity to let a PR/marketing woman come out and have the gall to turn their back on customers that have been loyal for decades, if not generations. It's a staple of some people's houses over there. This woman gets on and she says, you know, this beer's been about frat boys and it needs to evolve, and used every kind of liberal woke buzzword, buzz term that she could to basically say, we don't give a crap what you think, we're going to do what we want. And so the market went, yeah, you know what? We don't like that. We don't like being disrespected. And not only don't we like being disrespected, we don't like it when you put something right up in our face and say, you must think this way, you must act this way. Respect is earned, son. And the company has earned the loyalty of its customers, and then you're just going to go around and say, yeah, we don't need you? Well, $5 billion down in sales this month proves otherwise. Looking at the rush from the news media to stifle these apparent real leaks, not sure if they're legit or not, because like I said, we kind of all know what's going on. That, and the fact that, I dare you, go see how many pages deep you gotta go before you can see an original Dalai Lama article. Okay, I'm using Skynet Google, but I'm 30 pages deep. and all I can see is his apology. His apology for saying this thing, his apology for that, an article about this, a video about that. Nothing's the original. You look at how the news cycle works and who you are allowed to criticize and who you are allowed to analyze and think about for longer than 5 minutes and what that means. Ugh. Some days I just want to stay in bed. Don't want to be one of those people that's asking you to sub and like, but if you feel like commenting or liking, that would help me out. It'll give me the power to do more of these episodes.